Hello, everybody. Tony here. After 1 month of being on my new diet slash lifestyle, I'm pleased to say that I've, lost about, over 33 pounds. Uh, that's amazing. That's like over a pound a day. Now, we all know, of course, it's not going to continue that way, but I'll take it. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Um, it's nice to see some reward for the work that goes into making such a big lifestyle change, and I'm looking forward to more and more of that. So I'm going to report after 1 month, my stamina has just increased triple, double, triple from what it was even just a month ago. My physical strength is getting better. Most notably is my clarity, my mental clarity, my ability to just be sharper. There was a time in my younger days where I was, pretty sharp, and as I got older, and of course, I had a bit of an ordeal a year and a half ago where I spent some time in a coma and ICU and a year of recovery. So that'll take a toll on you mentally as well. And it's all gone. I mean, I feel great. So that's awesome. It's really awesome. So in my previous videos, I talked about my diet, and I will say it has changed a little bit as I've progressed. So at one time, I was taking a protein shake every morning, and I mentioned that. That is no longer the case. I don't do that anymore. I haven't had a protein shake probably in about 10 days or so, and I feel like I don't need it, which is great. Also, I have shifted into more of a carnivore style diet. I mean, it's not 100% carnivore. One lady said on my comments on one of my videos, she mentioned the word ketovore. That was a kind of a cool word, actually. I think I'm going to use that more because I think that's where I am going right now with my diet. It's probably about 95% carnivore, right? But I do throw in a little bit of leafy green vegetables and shirataki or konjac noodles once in a while. And of course, I use spices on my meat, which obviously are plant-based, of course, right? Um, so maybe 95%, maybe it's actually 94% meat. And the other 6% is sort of everything else, which is really good. I will say this. I mean, the shirataki noodles are awesome. They add a little character to your dishes. You get to simulate, noodles and rice and things like that without actually having any starch, any carbs, any sugar, very little calories, which I really don't think matter anyway. But from what I understand, these konjac or shirataki noodles are like almost like a negative carbohydrate situation. Like from the labels I've been reading, it seems like the fiber is higher than the carbohydrate count, which is kind of odd. I don't know if that's accurate. If anybody has any insight on that, please share, put the comments down. I am very interested in knowing about that. So, but yeah, I definitely enjoy eating them. I only do it about once or twice a week. Same with the greens. Out of all my meals for the week, probably maybe one or two of them will have, plant stuff in it. So for the most part, I guess I am carnivore. But like I said, that word ketovore is really cool. Thank you. You know who you are, who said that in my comments, because that's going to be my new thing. What else here? Talking about cravings. After a month of being on this lifestyle change, I had some cravings in the beginning, I don't get them anymore. The only thing I crave really is going out to restaurants. I mean, going out to eat. Uh, I love, I love going out to restaurants. So at first it was difficult to kind of figure out, how to do that without cheating and things like that. But it's actually not that difficult. As long as I don't know, if you eat sushi or Japanese food, you can shift to sashimi, which is, pure fish. I mean, I do add a little bit of wasabi and soy sauce to that, but it's such a small amount that I don't think it really is relevant at all. And then when you go to these Japanese restaurants, they have a lot of cool like beef dishes. They have like these negi mayakis and enoki rolls. They're like these beef little roll things, and they typically come with teriyaki sauce. But you can just tell them, nothing comes with sauce. All the sauces can go on the side. So even if we're with people, they can have sauce on the side, and it's actually better because they can regulate the amount of sauce they want. Some people really want a lot, and other people don't want so much. So it's very easy. Another another type of restaurant I like is the Brazilian steakhouses. They come and they cut. There's like 30 different cuts of meat, right? Beef, chicken, pork, lamb, all seasoned differently. And I mean, yes, they are high in salt and things like that. But for people that do keto or carnivore diets, I always hear everyone saying that salt, more salt is better because of electrolytes and things like that. But I gotta say, I haven't had any issues with that, even though I keep my salt intake very low. The only time I really get any excess salt is when I actually do go to these places because the soy sauce or the seasonings on the Brazilian style steakhouse meats, of course, they're seasoned heavily. But yeah, it's not a problem. I haven't had any issues. I always feel really good after I have it. It's a non-issue at all. Um, Another thing I'd like to talk about is, you know, the bathroom. Okay. Um, I will say I don't go as often or as much since I've been doing this lifestyle. Now, I've asked my doctor about that, and basically the logic behind it is because you're not getting a lot of vegetables and rices and grains and things like that in your diet, it's mainly protein, and your body's actually using it all, right? So very little, waste is left behind, and the need to leave it behind is not as often, which makes a lot of sense. And I mean, I guess that's the body maybe being more efficient. Um, I don't have a problem with it, to be honest. I mean, I kind of like it. I don't, I don't know. I mean, as just for me, it doesn't matter. But just wanted to share that because I'm sure anyone who starts doing this will notice that. And if you have, if you ask if you're a little confused or you don't know what's going on, I think it's pretty normal when you do this type of lifestyle. Okay, so it's nothing to worry about. Some people have said take Metamucil or some other source of fiber. Now, I will say this: I do notice when I eat the shirataki konjac products, noodles, rice, things like that, I tend to get a lot more fiber, and hence a bowel movement soon follows. I don't know if it's coincidence, but I don't think it is. I think it's the fact that you're taking in this insoluble fiber and it's just passing through you. So something to consider as well, right? All right, so there's one more thing I want to talk a little bit about because I've, started doing it by accident, and I'm noticing that it's working. And even with the whole mental clarity thing, it's working. And it's intermittent fasting, right? So because I've cut out that morning protein shake, I typically eat dinner around between 5 and 7 p.m. And then I would wake up usually at around 7 in the morning, take a protein shake before 8, and then, of course, lunch and then dinner. So now that I've cut out that protein shake, I'm pretty much going from 5 to 7 p.m. until noon or 1 o'clock the following day uh, before I have a meal. So involuntarily, I've started intermittent fasting, and it works good. Now, I did notice I was watching something about that on another YouTube video from a gentleman by the name of Thomas DeLauer, who's really awesome. He's like a wealth of knowledge, this guy. Check him out if you don't already know who he is. I highly doubt it. I'm sure everybody knows the guy. He's just amazing. But he's just got all this amazing information. And he said that on the video I saw, intermittent fasting, number one, should be intermittent. It's not something you should be doing every day, or else it's not intermittent fasting anymore, right? Secondly, he says that you can't do the same, from what I understand anyway. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody saw it or knows about it, again, I'm all ears, or eyes for that matter, comments, right? Read, not hear. But nonetheless, he talks about you have to change the time slots, that you eat in order for it to be effective. If you're doing it every day, from the same time slots, your body will become accustomed to that. And therefore, the effect of the intermittent fasting, I guess, sort of diminishes, right? Our bodies will adapt to things over time. I mean, that's the beauty of the human race, right? We adapt to everything. So, bear that in mind. If you're going to do some intermittent fasting, I think you got to change it up every once in a while. Also, I don't think you should be doing it every day. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody who's out there and knows about this stuff, I am not a professional. I'm just learning as I go and sharing as I learn, right? So yeah, I mean, that's it. All I got to say is, anybody who's thinking about doing this, do it. I mean, take the leap. You won't regret it. I think if you're in a situation where you're overweight or you're having these energy slumps and things like that, sometimes a lifestyle change is what you need. And for me, it's just been, so far, it's been amazing, okay? Everything's been just improving over and over itself. It's just awesome. I can't explain it. It just feels very good to know that my life is getting back on the right track. And it was as simple as just changing my diet, changing the way I eat, the things I eat, and understanding and being, open to it, right? Open to just trying something new. And here we are, 1 month in, 33 pounds down. What else can you say? I want to thank everybody also for watching me, following me, all your comments, your likes, the people who subscribe. Thank you. Those of you, who haven't, please do. I will be posting a lot more videos. Remember, this journey for me is lose 200 pounds in 18 months, okay? We're only 1 month in. So I will be posting, obviously, a report every week, maybe every two, and also cooking videos, right? Like just things that I cook, and maybe that'll be helpful to some people who are looking for variety and you just need something new, to try. And I think I'm also going to start talking about shopping lists. Let me know, guys, if you want to talk about how I shop and the stuff that I buy and things like that, because that's also a very important step to all of this, right? Preparation. So again, thank you all, and we'll see you all in about a week. All right. Cheers.